Hello, you fantastic, lovely people, and welcome to the Deal Finders Corner, your weekly property talk show brought to you by Property Filter, hosted by yours truly, Asif Omar from the Property Filter team. We are the UK's highest rated platform for finding deals, and we're on a mission to empower our property investors and deal sourcer members to find over 3,000 deals this year thanks to the Property Filter Blueprint. So with the purpose with your Deal Finder Corner is to give you more and the best of the available resources, where we invite expert guests who will share with you the latest and most current strategies, tactics, and secrets about what actually works right now in terms of finding and making deals, and the high reality of systemizing and running a high performance business in property. And boy, do we have a fantastic episode for you today. We've got the rather amazing David Giraldo on today's Deal Finder Corner. So David is a property and business broker with a truly global presence. Originally from Colombia, with experience living across Europe, he has successfully connected investors and opportunities worldwide. With a background as a qualified lawyer and over 5 years in UK property, including HMOs, flats, commercial units, and more, David has facilitated more than 100 transactions in cities like Liverpool, Manchester, and London. Yes, you heard me right, 100 deals. So, what are we going to learn in this episode? In this episode, we are going to learn how to break into the UK property sourcing with zero connections, why professionalism and reliability are worth more than flashy marketing in property deals, the exact mindset shift that turns language barriers into deal-making superpowers, and how to build trust with international investors across multiple continents. Followed by, of course, an exclusive Q&A. So if you have any burning questions, please just put them in the chat box and we'll get to them at the end. So can we give a massive usual Property Filter welcome to David? Jazz hands, everyone. There we go. Hello, David. How are we on this fine day?
Asif, thank you very much for having me. I'm very, very honored, very pleased to be here.
Oh, I am so excited to hear your story, because coming from a different country, coming to the UK and doing 100 transactions in, 5 years? Such a short period of time. But would you like to share your slides for our folks?
Absolutely. I hope this is inspiring. I assume there are some people sourcing here. I hope you can find some inspirations, learn lessons here that you can apply. And if there are investors, same. There are going to be things for you as well. So let me see. My name is David Giraldo. Thank you very much for having me here again. And I'm going to talk how I went from being an outsider, never been in property. You will see that I was living overseas, never visited many houses in the UK, and I went from 0 to 100 plus transactions in the last 5 years, and I sold over 12 million pounds in properties. So my story. I was living in Belgium. I moved to the UK from Colombia in 2010. I married a British diplomat, and we went to live in Belgium from 2014 until 2019. I'm a Colombian qualified lawyer, and in 2017 we got pregnant. Or my ex-wife, got pregnant, and then I decided to do something that could be more transferable, that I could do in different places, and I joined Simon Suchi's mastermind, which I was doing from Brussels. So I was commuting at the time. There were no such things like virtual things. Everything was present. We had to be there, and I had to come all the time every month to Birmingham. So I decided at the end of the mastermind that I would do sourcing, and the reason to do sourcing was because I could do it remotely. I thought that I could do it from Belgium or from any other country in the world. I could do it without having much capital, and I needed to provide. I needed to get an income because I was at that now. So November 2019, we moved to the UK, and just a few months after the first lockdown started. So I realized that this business could be done online, because if you remember, the market was closed. So we weren't allowed to go into networking events or to do any viewings or anything. So I from pretty much the beginning of my business, I realized that I could do this 100% online. I had some challenges at the time. One of those is that as soon as we moved back, we started we got divorced, and I was a single dad 50% of the time of the week. So I was in charge of a little boy. This was a new country for me, no family, no friends. Fair enough, I lived here before, but all my friends, when I was doing a master's, all my friends left this country, so I didn't have really a network to connect to. So in reality, starting from zero, this is not an exaggeration. I had to do everything, build all my connections from zero. And I didn't have a very good look in English. It's not yet. I mean, imagine 5 years ago, it was a bit worse, or a lot worse. I have improved a lot. And I hadn't seen or visited many houses in the UK or towns, to be honest. So at the time, I didn't know what was the difference between a terrace house or a semi-detached house. It was that basic. But anyway, I could give myself no excuses. I had to do it because I had to provide. There was no way back. I had invested a lot of money in that mastermind, and I put all my faith in sourcing. So I had to go ahead to do it. So my question to you guys is, what are your reasons to keep going? What you have to keep up every time? My first result was a PLO of 17 properties. I was still at the mastermind, and there was an event called the Strategy Implementation Live in October 29. On that event, I agreed on a PLO. The head of terms, the landlord came to see me at the hotel, and there we signed the head of terms for that deal. I sent landlord letters. At the time there were no property filters, so I was printing from Belgium, putting the envelope myself, putting all the stamps, and going to the office that would bring the things to post them in the UK. I remember spending quite a lot of money, and my wife at the time was complaining a bit. It's not as cheap as it is now. Just when a click, you can just send letters from property field with property. One of those landlady was to say, "It is not for me, but thank you for sending." And I have a friend who is selling one property. It ended up that the guy was selling 17 properties, not just one, 17, and we did that the PLO. So my lesson is that every action has a reaction, and I learned from that deal that it's better to chase rabbits rather than elephants. I spent a lot of time negotiating, structuring, putting together the deal, and at the end, we couldn't do it. There was no cash flow in that deal, even with a PLO. So I didn't do it. I spent a lot of time, and since then I'm very careful with portfolios, and I prefer to do my single buy-to-lets consistently. And my question to you guys is: are you taking consistent action? For example, sending letters via a property filter, which is very easy. It's just one click and super cheap. No need to do any envelopes, stamps, getting your tongue dry because you need to be doing all those things and sticking the envelopes and stuff. The first deal that I found unsold was in Facebook Marketplace. Again, no property filter at the time. This was a detached house converted into 3 units in Preston. 2 bedrooms, 2 flats, 1 bedroom and 1 studio flat. The asking price 1,142. The seller was super motivated. He was also online, but I connected to him via Facebook, so we started talking directly. And I didn't have buyers at the time. I was just starting, so I co-sourced this deal. I went to somebody else who had already clients, and I made 2,500. The guy who sold it made the 50% of that. I mean, 2,500 as well. So the lessons to me is, I still haven't been in Preston. I never went to that building, and I never been in Preston, and I don't know who bought the property. I just know that I collaborated with someone, I found it, and I sold it, and I made my money. And my
David,
question to you is if you, please tell
David,
me.
sorry to jump in. Your screen's not actually sharing, it's still sharing the old one. Oh, there we go.
Oh, wait. Okay. I guess you didn't see this, but you hear about my story in Belgium, moving back, divorcing, new country, no family, no friends, no network. My English not very good looking, no excuses. And then I told you guys about this portfolio, 17 properties. Um, and I was asking people um, if you guys are using taking action, sending letters. It's very easy to do it now with property filter. And I was invited on a stage to talk about this deal because it was there. This was my first deal, sold in Preston. I never been in Preston. No, I haven't been yet been in Preston, and I never went to that property. I sold it. I don't know who bought it. That was the other story I share. And I was asking you if you guys are using all the resources that property filter gives you, like finding and selling deals. You can sell deals in property filter if you don't have any buyers. You can send letters with just one click, and you can join the community and take advantage of it. For me, it's a great thing to be, because this is a very lonely business to do. And this is my first investor. It was a referral. One of someone said, David, maybe you can help one of my friends who is wants to buy one in England. And this is how I realized the beauty of working with overseas clients. They want someone reliable with boots on the ground. Fair enough. I am not the person who is on the ground, but I have a team. I have teams now, and I realized that I could rely on builders, viewer people, letting agents, estate agents, and then I built up a network of people. So it ended up that this guy Ben wasn't looking for one property, but he was looking for 20. I ended up selling him 8 properties. He had issues with the lenders at the time, and nobody wanted to lend him anymore because he was buying too fast. So they asked him to stop, and then he moved somewhere else. And I, because I was still very new in the game, I had to. Sorry, are we okay? So because I was still very new in the game, I had to source some of those properties. This is an email that he sent thanking me for how professional I was. And in 6 months, I'd made more than 20K in fees with this guy. It was my very, very, very first investor. And the lesson I learned is that you need to raise your profile, especially online. And today, I'm asking you if your profiles in LinkedIn and Property Filter are working for you 24/7. This is your window to the world, and you have to use it. They are there, and people come even when you are not aware. People come to look for you and see who you are and what could you do for them. And for me, sourcing, I will define it as trust. So I think this is a very easy way to remember what is sourcing. Is trust. Trust because it gives you time flexibility. You can reach broadly from clients and properties. You can source properties anywhere in the country. And now I'm telling you, I have been involved in transactions. Fair enough. I haven't closed them yet in the United States, for example. And I'm trying to expand to Dubai. How would it be for me to sell properties in Dubai and apply the same model that I'm using in the UK? And I have reached 2 properties, and I have worked with investors from quite a few places in the world, not just from England. So the world is your oyster. Unlimited earnings. Fees can be very generous. Start simple. There's no need for a huge amount of money to start sourcing, and you can cold source. If you have a broker, if you have a deal, you just need a buyer. Someone may have the buyer. If you have a buyer, someone may have a deal. So just start where you are. And trust. This is the most important thing. Trust in yourself and grow. I remember when I was very scared of calling estate agents, especially, and they will say, "What? What are you saying? What? Can you repeat that?" And I was very scared. I was terrified because I knew that English was a barrier. I couldn't. I still can't understand when I call people in Liverpool or Manchester. I don't get it. Many times I don't understand the accent. But for me, in my mind, I'm bringing value to the table. I'm bringing something to the table. So they better make an effort to understand what I'm saying. And I build my trust like that. And this is why I love it. This is January 2025. This is my desk in Colombia. I was in the sea is 50 minutes away, 50 meters away from that place. And this is where I worked in January for over 2 weeks. I was still doing deals. I was still keeping track on everything what is happening in my business. And that was my desk for a few days. This is a deal that's exceeding expectations for your buyers. This is an overseas investor who was looking for a buy-to-let in Manchester, 7.5 yield plus would do for him. I use property filter. I filter. I set up the search for properties that have been more than 90 days online. And I had seen this property. It was the asking price was 150. We secured it for 140. The yield at the time was 7.7, but I realized that area was in a great area for service accommodation, and I suggested that to the guy. Said you could do this, and I connected with a provider, reliable, that I knew that they could work together. And this is what he said. Then we started working in another property, and this is what he says, fingers crossed, because we made an offer in another property. So he came back to work with me. He kept working with me. And when I asked him, how is that one performing? He says, I'm happy. Now it is in Airbnb, cash flowing. I made 4,300 on this property, and I'm happy, he's happy. And I understood that my investors' criteria doesn't need to match my criteria. It is, those two things are separate. And I never overpromise, I try to overdeliver. Follow-up is another key. This is a building mixed-use property in Prescott. Again, I haven't been in Prescott. I never went to see that building. But I in property filter, I follow up this property for 5 months. It was there. I using property filters and then how you call that that little section where you can drag your properties to follow up and to know when you have to follow up. The lender's valuation was not 195. We secured it for one of my South African cash buyers for 183. The yield was almost 11%, and I made $6,000 on this one. I thought it was a good deal. The property was recently renovated. The EPC was B. It had solar panels, and it was everything. It was beautiful. Inside that property was beautiful. I made $6,000. So the guys just needed to have tenants in there, and that was it. My lesson on this one is follow up. Property filter gives you a nice CRM system that you can just move things, drag things, properties in different areas, and then you know what you have to do with each property. Use it. Persist. Don't give up. This is a property deal. I feel very, very proud. Very proud. It was a building, 12 flats in Liverpool. I completed on this one, or we completed on this one 2 months ago. It took me 12 months. 12 months to sell it. I wasn't the only person selling it. I knew that there were more than one broker trying to sell it. The asking price originally was $850, and I found a buyer on LinkedIn. So this is for me what I'm telling you guys. You can do this online. You can find your deals online, and you can find your buyers online. We sold it for $750. The yield was 11%. The sourcing fee on this one was 1.5. So I made 11,000 pounds on this, which is not bad. Yeah, it took me a year, but I'm very glad, very happy. The lessons I learned on this one is be persistent. Don't give up. To be a broker is not a get rich quick game, right? You need to be consistent and to wait for the results, but take action, do it, just keep going, keep following up, and have nice communication. I try to do that. Talk to the buyers, talk to the sellers, give the seller feedback. I was telling him why the asking price was too high until we finally got there. And LinkedIn again. LinkedIn is my best friend on this game, to be honest, and property filter. 5 years after, I've worked with 70 plus investors from different places: Australia, Dominican Republic, Hong Kong, Singapore, South Africa, the Netherlands, and of course, many locals as well. I have facilitated more than 100 transactions properties sold more than 12 million, and I have made six figures in sourcing fees. I've been invited on stage, talks like this today, not always with technical difficulties like today, but yeah, we've been there. So if I could summarize something for you guys to remember, I would say deal. So deliver, be reliable, be professional, add value, and people will come back to you. Engage in relationships, raise your profile, collaborate. If you have a deal, someone will have the buyer. If you have a buyer, someone will have the deal. And remember that it is not a property business. It's a people business. Act consistently. Daily actions, check leads, follow up. Sourcing is a numbers game. You need to have lots of properties in the pipeline, lots of investors, and then you eventually match them. And leverage tools. Property Filter offers you systems, communities. It's very easy now to contact sellers, contact estate agents to know what is going on, to ask questions. I've been asking questions about short leases in the community because that's something I want to learn. And I've been asking and checking what people are saying, and that is great. It's a great tool. Use it. And I'm happy to talk. I say, shall we talk? Sí, which is the way to say yes in Spanish. So if you're a sourcer, let's collaborate, bring deals, bring investors. I will try to bring the other half. And if you want to start, I can give you a hand. I have coach people, mentor people to start in business, to go from 0 to 1, to your first 2 deals, which is is the most difficult part, to believe and to make it happen. But I'm happy to help you with that. And if you're an investor, I'm happy to work with you and try to find you what is it that you're looking for and help you finding it. And if you want us to work together, happy to do so. So let's talk. My email is david@macaldo.co.uk. And my LinkedIn profile, that's the best way you guys can contact me, is David Giraldo. You will find it. It's property broker, and this is the picture that I use in all my socials. So I'm also on Facebook, but my favorite one is LinkedIn. I think that's it. Asif, I'm sorry for the technical issues.
No apologies needed.
I tried to grab that and be fast.
No apologies needed whatsoever. We got there at the end, and what a great presentation it was, and amazing in terms of the amount of experience that you've done and what your story has been for the last 5 years. You've done fantastically. So if people have already said they're already contacted you or connected with you,
Great.
So it's time to take questions, and I've got quite a few questions here. So the one that's for me, that's burning inside me, that I really want to ask you is, so you live in London, and you basically invest and find deals across the whole of the Northwest. How do you actually go and view the properties? What is the process for that?
Oh, well, I because I remember I learned to do this during lockdown. So my first year in this business was lockdown. I learned to do it online. I realized that all I needed to do was to get someone on the ground to do the videos, nice videos, recent videos from someone I rely. It's not like I asked the estate agent to send me deals or the vendors to send me the videos. I send someone that I can trust, that I know, and I ask them, I want you to show me everything, show me all the corners I want to see. And now I work with people, but sometimes I just go to Uber and I say, I need to see all the condition and please tell me what is wrong. And it's how I do my deal packs, but it's up to the investors to go and see them. It's their responsibility. I do my part. I send them what I think is happening, what I think it needs. Sometimes they send builders to check if it's a lot of work that is needed. I send builders, but if not, I do my deal pack with the information I have that I can find online, and it's the investor's responsibility to go and view the property. That's how I see it. And I know that there are people that advise, like you, if you are the deal sourcer, you have to do all. For me, it's working in a different way. Sometimes I've done my viewings, sometimes I have done it, but to be honest, it's the large minority of properties that I have sold that I have viewed myself.
Okay, fantastic. So when you were saying you first started this, you started this during COVID and everything went online. So was it the estate agent that was doing the viewing for you, as in they were putting the videos on their listings, and then you took that video and the information that you've got from elsewhere and you created a deal pack and you sent it to the investor through that way?
No, I never trust the estate agents. I
Hmm.
never trust the estate agents. That's something I don't do. I send someone I can rely. So there were, I think at the time when the market was closed, they were allowing like they were doing viewings in a different, like, I don't know, it was like people had to go with masks, and there were viewings were very restricted. They were asking for proof of funds to do the viewings. So the viewings were difficult,
Hmm.
difficult. But someone from my on my behalf went to view the properties. That's how I did it.
Hmm. So how did you find that person to do it on your behalf?
No, there is a platform that is called Viewer.
Yeah.
Viewer. So now there are lots of people that I know in different areas that I trust, and I send those guys and they do it for me. I don't do viewings. I think
Yeah.
it's not the right use of your time.
The reason why I was asking, I'm trying to get deeper into this, is because let's say quite a few people in this community, for example, are at the early start of their career in property, and they might not quite have the funds to do view because viewers, for example, is it £40 a viewing?
Yeah, yeah, something like that. But how much will it cost you to go and do it yourself?
Exactly. So
And
that's
the time for me when I've done and I've been doing viewings in my area,
Mhm.
and it takes me out of my routine. It messes up with all my day. With I no unless it is an invest something that I really want to see, but most of the things I don't view myself. It's a waste of time. It's
Yeah,
a waste of time.
100% agree. And I think that's what
It's
I
a
was
waste
trying
of
to
time.
encourage people because do you know what? People are put off by the viewer. For example, it might be 20, 30, 40 quid for per viewing, but then the opportunity cost in terms of what you could lose by not securing that deal and then selling that deal for, as you can see, 3 grand, 5 grand, 6 grand, 11 grand even
And
on that. So it's just
I'm sure
trying
you
to have
can.
that mind shift.
I'm sure there are places in which people could find someone willing to go cheaper to do those viewings for you. I mean, I'm sure there are moms, people now don't want to stigmatize users, but people who are going to be willing to go to drive 10 minutes from their local area, do the viewing for you. You just ask them how to do it. You just need to be creative, how to find them, Facebook groups, whatever. And then just find people, ask them who can go and do a recording for me. It will take you 15 minutes. You pay 10 grand, 10 pounds, 15 pounds. It's,
Yeah.
it's easy to do. And I don't know. I mean, for example, today I just talked to one of my investors who went to view a property yesterday.
Hmm.
And I never been in that property. I'm not going to be in that property. He just called me and said, it's not for me. It needs a lot of work. Fine. Yeah, fine. I sent my video. I did my deal pack. I did an estimation. Said, no, it needs a lot of work. Not for me. Fine, cool. But I never went to that property.
Fantastic. So we've talked a little bit about finding deals and we've talked about going for the viewings. What about the other side? Because the other side that you're really good at is connecting investors across the UK and across the whole world as well. So for somebody in our community who is starting at the beginning, how do they actually find their first investor?
Hmm. My first investors were online, were LinkedIn. Again, LinkedIn is I was very diligent about LinkedIn. There are books, right? And there are lots of people who are experts, and I was reading them, and I was very into it. What you need to say in your profile, how is your picture needs to be, how your banner needs to be, what is the about, what you have to say in the about, and then how many people can you contact every day, or you should contact, right? You need to send invitations and who you need to contact via LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a platform for professionals. I don't do Instagram. Instagram is I don't for me the place to find your buyers is LinkedIn. There are people, professionals with money to buy properties. They don't that property may not be their main industry, their main strategy. They may have other works, other careers, and they don't have the time to go and look for properties. You do. You
Mhm.
find them for them. Go and contact them. Send them a little message. Be creative. I've been sending sometimes video notes to those investors. Why? Because I want to be different. I don't want to spam them, send them the copy and paste message that is everybody does. Be different. Hi, I noticed that you are a CEO in this company. I wonder if you are investing in properties. I can help you. Whatever. Be creative. Have a strategy and go for it. I was contacting. LinkedIn used to ban me all the time, I couldn't contact any more people because I wasn't going to pay the premium, and I couldn't contact any. I was contacting more the people that they want you to do. But it's how I found my first people. And if I had to start again, I will do it again. I will do that again. I will go on LinkedIn. It's still valid and it's still active.
LinkedIn is very, very powerful. You might not
Powerful.
think it. People are watching you all the time. They might not interact with your post. They might not engage with your post, but they are definitely what they're
24/7,
yeah.
24/7 working for you all
Mm.
around the world.
Yeah, smart that. So what we're going to do, we're going to take it back to the viewings, and I've got a couple of other questions as well. So with the viewings in terms of, so you view a property, how many viewings would you say, and then how many offers do you make from them viewings, and then how many deals do you get from there? So what is your metrics at the moment?
I know that it's about the viewings. I know that it is a lot of people, a lot of sources will say, or a lot of people teaching about sourcing will say, you have to be diligent and you have to. A lot of people on forums will say, oh, that sourcer didn't view the property for me. Oh, that sourcer thinks that 7% yield is a good deal. Who he believes he is or what he knows. And I don't have any problem with that. I mean, people have different opinions. It's been working for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have sold deals, lots of deals to people whose expectation is 7% gross yield, right? I mean, would I buy that? No. Would you buy it? Probably not. What can I do? I mean, people are happy with that. What should I say? Oh, this is not a good investment? No, that's what they asked me for. And
Mm-hmm.
I just sell that, right? I mean, yeah, it may not be a good deal for a lot of people in those forums criticizing sources. Oh, that source didn't go and do the viewing himself. What can I do? I mean, it's working for me. Why would I change it? So just be confident and trust. Trust that you are offering something, you are doing something that is adding value to you. People who can't find those properties, but you can. You can. Now it's easier with property filter, by the way. And you asked me about, you asked me about my metrics. I'm
Your
very
me
bad at that, mate. I'm a lawyer. I'm not very good at that. Never was very good. I'm good at talking. I'm not good at
Mhm.
measuring things, right? But
Yeah,
I will say is something because I know what my buyers are looking for, because
yeah,
it's how I work. I know what to look for. So
yes.
I would say, and I try to secure things. So I would say I try to pretty much when I view something is because I know that I'm going to sell it. And the another tip that I will give you guys is I realize that I realize that most of the investors in the world want to invest in the UK single lets. At least that was until a few months ago, before all the noise with the renters bills, right? So before all that noise with that is scaring people, it's scaring tenants, landlords. But up until 6 months ago, most of the investors in the world wanted to buy in the UK single lets, 2, 3 beds, 150, 200 max. That was the average. That was the average. When I realized that, I said, why I'm going to bother with other things, trying to be creative when I know that if I find one of these, I will have 4 or 5 buyers ready to buy.
Mm-hmm.
If I find a good buy to let, if I can find buyers ready to buy exactly the same thing, I just went for that.
Yeah.
I just went for that. So I can't give. I mean, that's how it's been my strategy. I find it. I know what is my clients. What are my clients looking for? I go and shop around for that.
Yeah. I think that's a great way to summarize it. What I was trying to get to was that in property, because what we happen as well, and we see this in our community, is some people saying, "Oh, there's no deals out there, they don't stack," and you kind of said, what you said, it might not be a deal for you, but it might be a deal for somebody else. But the other thing is, we feel like people are not doing enough viewings to get the deals as well, and you have to view quite a few properties to get a deal. Would you say that's the case for yourself as well?
No, no, no. Again, I will say no. It's not about viewings. I think it's about having conversations with people. It is about talking to your investors. If you talk to people, I don't know. I mean, some investors that think that are new into trainings, they will come and say, "I'm looking for a PLO in London with 50% return of investment,"
Hmm.
and then you know that that's a waste of time, and you don't need to stay there, right? When people tell, I want to pull out investments in which I can pull out of all of my money, I always say to people, why do you think I will sell you that deal? If I find it, I'm not going to sell it to you or to anyone.
Mhm.
If I find a deal that I can pull all of my money, I will keep it, my friend. Why am I going to sell it for 3 grand, 5 grand? No, no. I mean, look for the people who are looking for, and it's the majority. It's just that you need to go and talk a lot with a lot of investors, a lot of people, and just get rid of the ones that are going to be a waste of time. Just talk to the ones that are will tell you, I'm looking for something that is, I want to retire. I want to retire. This is my savings. I'm looking for 2 or 3 properties, because he's an English teacher in Mexico, and that person has some savings and wants to buy in the UK, because it's how we all been trained to believe, or we mostly been trained to believe, that property, if I have 2, 3, and I have that income in 20 years, that's fine. If he can pay the mortgage now and in 20 years I can have some money, that's fine. That's it. And then you
Mhm.
just go and buy that property for him. And
Mhm.
you sit there, you know that they're asking for 7, 8%, 9%, and you can't find something that is 9, 10, 11%. Listen, I'm talking about yield all the time. I don't talk about return of investment. I don't talk about a return of capital. No, I'm used to work with people who are looking for yield.
Mhm.
Obviously, positive cash flow, obviously,
Yes.
but yield.
Mhm.
Does it make sense? It's another approach. It's a different approach, and it's been
Yeah.
working for me. It's been working for me. Yes, sure. We may have this conversation with other people saying, "What are you selling?" I'm selling. I'm
Mhm.
selling.
Yeah, and exactly that, and that's how you do a lot of transactions in such a short period of time. So I suppose the question next is, what is next for yourself?
Next is, um, I'm uh, I'm trying to. I want to expand. I like to see myself as a citizen of the world, and I want to expand. I want to have a global business.
Hmm.
I want to be able. I'm a broker. That This is my definition. I'm not a sourcer. I'm a broker. I'm a
Yeah.
broker, and I can broker properties in other parts of the world. I realize that a lot of people are investing. A lot of people in this part of the world are investing in Dubai. Okay, what do I need to do to sell properties in Dubai? Um, and I know that a lot of people in South America invest in the United States. What do I need to sell properties in the United States? And I don't want to. It's not that I'm moving to Dubai or to South America or to the United States. I want to go. I will keep doing it from Crystal Palace in London, man. That's
Yes.
my goal. And because I've been having a lot of conversations with people, and I know that businesses are a big thing at the moment, right? Buying businesses, I'm aware of that. Baby boomers leaving the markets as a landlords, as a business owners, and all that, and needing to sell, no wanting, needing to sell, and maybe not many buyers. I want to also start brokering businesses.
Hmm.
Businesses. I've been talking with a lot of people and investors wanting to buy businesses that have real estate involved. And yeah, those are the next steps. So it's been a global broker of a global broker. That's the vision.
That's fantastic. And I can see the drive and I can see the ambition, and there's no doubt that you are going to smash it. Although there's no property filter in Dubai or South America yet. So
Jet,
yeah, wow.
jet.
Yeah. You need to work extra
Um,
hard then.
I will be tomorrow in. I will see Guillaume tomorrow. I will talk to him about doing a business filter.
Business filter. That could be the next one. Right there. Just don't tell anybody else about it. There might be a few people in this room now.
Yeah.
So I think it's time to wrap things up. And there's a question I always ask, and I think we've already kind of touched on it, but it is how can our wonderful community members help yourself, and how can you help our wonderful community members?
No, the first way to help me is to forgive me for being for the technical issues. If we lost like I don't know 20 plus minutes today, and I'm sorry about that. So please accept my apologies for that. It would be very nice to connect with you all via LinkedIn to hear your like to know what you think about this approach to sourcing, and hopefully we can do deals together. Where if you are a deal sourcer, if you are starting and you don't have either a deals but you have buyers, or you don't have deals but you don't have buyers, or you have buyers but you don't have deals. Let me know and let's do something together. If you want to learn how to source and how to do it from your home, let's talk. And if you are an investor and looking for properties, let's talk. And if you want to JV, let's talk. I'm open
Fantastic.
to everything. I say yes to everything.
C to everything. C.
See to everything.
C to everything. Yes to anything.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Any final remarks?
No, no, thank you. Thank you for having me here. It's been an honor. I've been a member of Property Filter from day one. I met Kijom in that first event. I was invited on stage, and he remembers that deal. Deal. He remembers very well. I saw him recently, and he still talks about it. So thank you for having me. Asif, please say hi to everybody there, and everybody, lovely to meet you. I hope this was inspiring, and I look forward to hearing from you.
Yeah, no, honestly, it has been inspiring. It's been amazing how much you've done in the last 5 years and all the plans that you've got for the future. And I'm really excited to see where it's going to go in the next 5 years. And do you know what? I'm going to get in touch behind the scenes as well because I'm interested in seeing if we can work together. And that's what it's all about, isn't it? You put yourself in a platform and you can see if you can work together. And I've really enjoyed myself today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Asif.
Brilliant. Right. Well, let's wrap things up, folks. So, what have we got for next week? So, next week we have got another fantastic Deal Finders Corner, and it's with Omid. So, Omid has spent years making high pressure calls in elite motorsport, and now he's using that same sharp decision making to build a successful property portfolio, all whilst juggling a full on career. He'll share exactly how he made 300,000 on his dream home, how Property Filter helps him with that, and the exact negotiation tricks that helped him land a deal. So we will see you there next week. But in the meantime, as always, go and grab them deals. Thanks again and catch you soon, folks. Thanks.